welcome to my garage again. Today we're going to replace the stock tire on my RS Torque with this Shinko SR241 dual sport tire, knobby. This was recommended to me by La Lexina, who's out of Las Vegas. So he says it fits, but there might be just a little bit of rubbing on the side. So we'll get it seated and see how that goes. But since this is the first time I've taken the motor out of my RS, I figured we'd record it and maybe help out anybody else that is thinking about doing the same thing. So anyway, let's get to it. All right, most of you won't have to do this, but the first thing I'm gonna do is I have to peel off all of my extra padding that I have on here. Now this is why I do this in Velcro, because all this stuff comes off pretty clean, and if you need to replace it, if you crash a few times, mess it up, it goes back on relatively easy. All right, so I had some gunk. I still have some gunk in there, some dirt in the key. I'm gonna strip it. I think we're coming out now. So that's when maybe you don't want to use a power tool. You definitely don't want to strip anything out. At least when you're doing it by hand, you can feel it a little better. So there, she's finally coming out. Bit more of a pain, but if you're riding in dirt, yeah, see there's still dirt in it. I can barely get a grasp on it. Come on. All right. See all that dirt? Yep. So we still need to get that cleaned out so I can get it a little easier next time. All right, and we're gonna want to get our rod out. That one came out pretty easily. I have the titanium ones. All right, now we're gonna remove 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 screws. Okay, so I just got the outer shell on the left side off, and there was a little bit of water inside. I cleaned up my wheel and tried to gently spray it off with the hose last night, and some water definitely got down, probably through the rear trolley, which is a known issue with this wheel already, and the MSX as well. So now we're going to take off 2, 4, 6 screws that hold the shell on, and that's a 4mm Allen wrench. So we'll get to that and I'll be back. All right, now that we got these 6 screws off that are holding the shell, we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. Well, actually not the same thing, but I'll show you here. So carefully flip the wheel over. Hopefully the battery stays in place on this one. On my Monster, the battery would want to kind of fall out, but it should be okay. All right, so we're gonna take the pedals off, take the 13 screws holding the shell together here, or holding the outer shell together, and then I'll get back to you. All right, now we're on the controller side, so just be careful. Make sure you got all your screws all the way out, and then gently pull up. There we go. All right, well, the good thing is the controller side doesn't have any water intrusion like the other side. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to unplug the main power, and we're gonna hold down the power button to make sure there isn't any juice left. Make sure no juice is left in there, so now we're good. All right. So as you can see, my wheel is a little dirty. We're gonna pull back the sleeves here, look at our wires. That one's the blue, that one's green, this is yellow. So yellow blue, and green. Now you're gonna want to take a photo of your yellow, blue, and green wires, so you make sure you put them back in the correct order once you are done and reinstalling it. And we're also gonna find the hall sensor wire, which is right in here, caked in with a bunch of goop. So we're gonna carefully peel that back, get the goop off, and pull that out, and then we'll be able to remove the wheel after we take out 2, 4, and 6. The 6th one is underneath this frickin' fan. I don't know why they did that, so we're gonna have to move the fan to get these 6 screws off, and then we'll be able to pull the wheel out. So I'll get back to you once I get that done. All right, screws are out. The motor wires, yellow, blue, and green, are out. Now we have to get to this hall sensor wire. There's some little zip ties, so I'm gonna cut that just to give me a little more play, a little more room to be able to work on the hall sensor and get that out clean. So get to that and get back to you. All right, I started to pull. It's coming down, no problem. Just be careful with your motor wires and your hall sensor. Once you get it down, make sure you're not stressing the wires. So the hall sensor is probably the flimsiest. So now push those guys down. And they're free. All right, there she is. All right, now we're gonna check and make sure that my pedal hangers are tight. So let's look at that real quick. Let me move the shell, or move to a better place, and then we'll check those. All right, so for the pedal hangers, it's a 5mm, so I'm just gonna go try to tighten them. Just make sure they don't turn. No play at all. No turn. So those stayed good. All right, and we're checking the other side. I hope I didn't speak too soon. Nope, we're good. All tight, all good. All right, well, now we're ready to do the tire change. So there's a lot of videos on YouTube already about how to change a tire, so go look there, but it is a pain in the butt. So hopefully I'll get back to you with this actually on and seated well. So wish me luck. I've been fighting with this tire for a little bit, so I'm down to that last little part where it's always the hardest. So take some soap and put it along there. That way your rod or lever or whatever you are using has something that it can slide on. Whew. And it goes right in, and then just try to wipe up the excess off of there. But I'm seated now. So I didn't have any tire irons or tire levers, but my wife had these like hangers that has a little ball on the end, and I find this to work really good. That way I can just slide it around the wheel and not have to worry about pinching the tube. So if you have something like this, I found this worked really good for me. So anyway, now time to get the wheel back together and see how bad this baby's gonna rub. All right, we slid the wheel, tire, motor back up in there. So now we gotta reconnect our cables, our wires, and the power. I will say there is some rubbage, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. All right, guys, well, this tire definitely has some rubbing. So what I'm doing, and I'm almost done, I've done the other side, and I'm finishing up on this side, but taking just a little bit off the sides. Which is kind of a pain in the butt, but like Law said, he went out and spun his up next to a curb to get rid of the rub. So this is how I'm going about it. But I got my little pile of rubber, and we're gonna make do with what we have and make it work. So I'm not sure if I can recommend this tire based on the extra steps that you have to take to make it fit on this wheel. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it. I'll go do a ride test after a bit. It's pouring down rain out here. Probably won't get a ride until springtime now. But yeah, we're making do.